Hello, I'm Pat Weatherspoon Hall, aka the Christian Life Coach. And I'm here to talk about today my topic, harmony in business, integrating faith and self-care. Again, I'm Pat Weatherspoon Hall, aka the Christian Life Coach. Professionally, I'm a published author, co-author, speaker, life coach, mental health advocate, but most importantly, I'm a daughter of the King. And I help women heal from trauma and pain after divorce and childhood trauma. And I can relate to that because I've had similar experience as well. Although we don't experience things in the same way, I can relate to what those women have gone through in the process of trying to heal and not knowing how to do that. And so that's where I come in. Today, I'm going to speak with you about how you can integrate faith and self care in your workplace, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're an employee of a secular world or also of the faith world. And so we're going to go through a few slides here. Um, Again, this is me. And something else you may not know about me is I'm a native Houstonian, again, a certified life coach and mental health coach, a wife, a grandmother, and a co-author. Um, Integrating faith and self-care in the workplace. Today, I'm going to identify and share with you ways you can incorporate faith and self-care in your workplace. I'm going to challenge you to incorporate what you've learned today in our daily routine, in your daily routine, in a 1 week time frame. Be faithful stewards of your beliefs and what you bring to the table and to others. This is how you can connect with me. I'm on all social media platforms, um, um, my email, um, website, and Instagram. Now, I'm going to share a few tips, a few highlights with you. So, I was looking for some research and statistics on how company environment and how employees feel when they are surrounded by faith-based initiatives or a faith-based environment that they can relate to. And what I pulled up was the 2024 State of the Union Workplace Highlight. Company leaders wanted to find out what mattered to employees in a Christian work environment. They received over 100,000 anonymous feedback responses. 55% of those employees felt positively engaged in a faith-based environment. So those environments were like a church setting, a nonprofit setting, family services, etc. And the 2023 APA Work in America survey, psychological well-being is very high for employees. So they found that through that survey. 95% of participants said it was very important for them to work for an organization that respects boundaries between work um, and uh, between work and on work time. So, and I am big on boundaries as well. 92% of workers said that it was very important for them to work for an organization that values their emotional and psychological well-being. And I agree with that as well. So my story, I've told you a little bit about me, but I'll tell you how I got here. In 2015, I left a position at a faith-based organization. I had worked since I was about 16 years old. I've always been in school or doing something and keeping busy. But after I left that employment, I was out of work for maybe about 8 months or so, and I didn't know exactly what to do with myself. But in that time frame, the Lord showed me my purpose, and that purpose was, as I stated earlier, working with women, trying to help them heal from trauma and pain. So without that rest, I wouldn't have been able to listen closely um, to what the Lord was telling me. And in 2015, I was led to found Genesis Rejuvenation Center, LLC. And that is where I do my coaching, we seminars, workshops, things like that, that continue to help women build on what they have broken, pick up those pieces, and then be able to move to the next step. Becoming an entrepreneur and a business owner, I had to make sure that what I believed and my faith and what I practiced was also intertwined with faith and self-care. Now, time to work. Just briefly, take a few moments at this time to write down how you feel about your current status of faith and self-care in your workplace. What would you do to make it better, or what would you do to change it? So take a few minutes there just to think about that, because we're going to come back on that in a few minutes. Faith in the workplace. Our faith is challenged daily, whether you're an entrepreneur or if you're an employee. We must be willing to walk, talk, and live the life God has instructed us to live. Hebrews 11:1, the NIV version. Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. So we have that faith, even though that God is not present in front of us. We know that He is there, and that we can stand by His word. Even when we cannot see Him physically, we know that He's here. We believe His word and His promises to be true, right? Our faith is challenged daily by what we see, hear, and what we do. It is up to us to maintain what we believe to be so, that we are living proof and talking and living the life that God has intended for us to live. The Denver Institute for Faith and Work identified four main positions that businesses and corporations take when it comes to faith in the workplace. And I found these four to be very insightful for me, and I hope that they will be for you as well. The first one is faith avoiding. In this structure, the company's leadership has actively decided to avoid topics related to faith or religion. On the most extreme side of faith avoiding, the company's religious employees can have fear of being fired for expressing their beliefs. They often feel necessary to hide their beliefs due to perceived bias against them. And we can understand that, right? The next one is faith tolerant. So just think about that a little bit. In this structure, religion is tolerated but not embraced by a business or a corporation. Faith tolerant companies will often provide accommodations to employees through their HR department. It provides a limited place for religious observance and practice in the organization. So it provides them a place to be heard and to be seen. Faith-based. In this model, the faith of the founders and owners are expressed in the day-to-day operations. They have self-consciously woven religious practices into the business model. This model works well for privately held companies where leaders share faith, but may not for others that do not. So let me say that again. This model works well for privately held companies where the leadership shares their faith, but may not for others who do not share that faith. Faith-friendly. In a faith-friendly business, everybody's ultimate beliefs are tolerated. Everybody's ultimate beliefs are welcome, not just tolerated. Leadership neither avoids topics of faith or merely tolerates religious expression. Neither does it favor one view or the other. Instead, it actively welcomes conversations about beliefs, backgrounds, and religious faith that employees hold dear and shape their motivations. Now, which one of those faith positions does your company fall under? Take a few seconds to think about that. Do you even know? Do you know how to get that answer? As an employee, do you know what the company's culture is? That would be something that you may want to take up with your HR department if you're not sure about that. As a business owner or entrepreneur, how do you express the culture of the company to your employees? So, my company culture. So, with Genesis Rejuvenation Center, you can see that it's all in from the beginning. Genesis, that word is the beginning. Rejuvenation, it's the renewal of strength and ability. And so, Genesis Rejuvenation Center, the beginning. It is faith based. If you will go to my website, you will see once you pull up www.genesisrejuvenationcenter.org, you will see scripture on the website. You will also see reflected in my logo and the name, the butterfly, the colors, and the company core values. They also reflect through scripture and prayer. Here, again, if you go to the website, you will see this first page here that shows discover your God-given purpose. So right there, that shows you that this is a faith-based program and company. And then equipping you to step into your destiny with spiritual insight and guidance. Here's another with our core values. Faith, it's what guides us. Hope, it's what inspires us. Integrity, and empowerment. So all of those for me incorporate faith-based for me in my company and my organization. So let faith show up in your company's mission statement. This shows the core of what drives the company culture. Lead with integrity and be transparent. Seek God's guidance when you need discernment, especially with conflict. And model behavior you would like your employers and your coworkers to follow. As we follow Jesus, that is how we, as leaders in our businesses and employment, are to show others so that they can follow as well. Entrepreneurs may see their work as a calling and strive to make sure it glorifies God. Employees may find ways to integrate faith in their daily tasks. So these are ways that you can integrate faith in your workplace. And you can write a list of those. And when you need to go to that, you can pull that out and pick some of those. Which one of the faith positions does your company fall under? Do you know what the company culture is? As a business owner or entrepreneur, how do you express the culture of the company? So again, that gives you another thing to think about again. Now, self-care in the workplace. Self-care is a lot for me. That's how I unwind, and that's really how I take care of myself. And self-care, Genesis 2:2. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all the work. So, what is self care? Take a few moments to think about that. What is self care to you? And what do you generally think about when you hear those two words, self care? Okay. Many people have said they think of going to a spa day. That's one way for self-care. But how do you incorporate that in the workplace? Self-care is actually taking time to rest, to replenish, and renew. Self-care allows us a break so that we can take care of of our minds, body, and soul. It also allows us time to release and unwind mentally, physically, and emotionally so that we can connect with God, so that we can reconnect with God. Now, here are some self-care tips that you can take on for the remaining of the week and throughout the next few days. Feed your soul. Pray whenever you need to and whenever you can. And even if you're not the entrepreneur, and if you don't quite know how the work culture is, you can do that silently at your desk. You can step away for a moment and do that. You may just need that time away. Number two, set boundaries and stick to them. I am really big on boundaries. And so, whatever that is. So, an example of that would be if you're ready to take your break and your coworker brings over some more work for you to do, it's okay to say no and mean that, and step away and take a few minutes to relax and then come back. Utilize your company's EAP resources. If you need mental health care, if you need any other resources, those resources are available to you. So make sure that you take time to talk with an EAP representative and know what's available. Um, and ask for help when needed. Sometimes we are so bogged down and we're just trying to finish the project that we forget to take care of ourselves. So make sure that you ask for help when needed. Now, your call to action for um, after this event is over. I challenge you to incorporate what you have learned and heard here today in your daily routine, at least for the next week. Be faithful stewards of your faith and your beliefs and what you can bring to others. Identify your company's culture and see where you fit in and what you can offer. Connect with me if you need further information or if you'd like a consult or if you just like to chat. I'm here to help and I would love to hear from you. Again, these are ways that how you can reach me through social media as well. Thank you so much for your time.